Hey, this is Tom, and it seems we cannot have a normal Monday without Tesla and Elon Musk dropping a massive bombshell on the stock market. In fact, they dropped a few, and we have to cover everything, and cover we shall. Now, I'm not going to waste your time with promos or intros or any of that stuff. I value your time, so let's jump straight into the video without all the hoopla and nonsense in the beginning. So, we obviously have to talk first of all about the big bombshell of the morning. Tesla is raising prices on the Model Y again. Now, for all of you who celebrated Tesla's lack of demand and how it was forced to drop prices, at this point, I'm assuming you're eating your hat. Because at this point, you're not having a good day. So Tesla raises prices for the Model Y. Model Y Performance goes up to $58,000. Model Y Long Range all the way up to $55,000. Now, the reason being is because the government decided to actually do its job and revamp the tax credit so it's a little bit more applicable to actual SUVs. I'm not going to dive into the tax credit. It's not that interesting, but basically, the government actually did what it was supposed to do and actually changed up the conditions a little bit so it's more workable. And then what Tesla does is immediately raises prices back up. Now, if this was an actual analytical discussion where we have to analyze what just happened here, I think what just happened over the past 2, 3, 4 weeks proves that this was not a demand-driven move by Tesla. Cutting prices had nothing to do with demand because changing the EV tax credit should not have incentivized Tesla to raise prices again if they had a demand problem. The fact of the matter is, if Tesla just raised prices the minute the government actually revamped the tax credit, it proves this move had nothing to do with demand. It was all about the tax credit and screwing a little bit with Ford and GM, which they did. Now, talking about screwing with Ford and GM, what in the world will Ford do right now? If you take a look at Tesla, it's really not a huge deal for them. Tesla is currently making about $9,500 per vehicle on a net profit basis. There isn't a single legacy automaker out there, including BYD, by the way, that comes anywhere close to these numbers. All the other manufacturers, BYD included, are in the same range of $1,000 to $2,000 per vehicle on a net profit basis, including Toyota, including BYD, including every single one of them out there. Tesla is literally making 5 times more margin on the net profit basis per vehicle than any other auto manufacturers out there. So the fact of the matter, if they drop the price by $1,500, they raise the price by $1,500, this is just a 4G chess move to screw with the competition. Their margins are the best in the business, and as production will scale, which it will, the margins will only get better. The more scale you have, the cheaper per unit price you pay. It's just basic economics. So this is a huge problem for the other auto manufacturers. The fact is that Tesla is so light on the trigger as far as raising prices shows me there isn't really a demand problem. Now, talking about the demand problem, there was a huge narrative about how Tesla has lost China. China has fallen, BYD has taken over, Tesla is leaving China, folding up the factory, going back home. Now, obviously, this was a bunch of horse nonsense because now we have Wedbush, which is one of my favorite analysts out there. I interviewed Dan Ives on my channel and had a blast with him. He actually raised his target price for Tesla from 200 to 225, citing specifically a research they actually carried out in China showing increased demand for Tesla following the price cuts following China reopening. At this point, I feel a little bit odd mentioning this because this was bound to happen. China was locked down. Tesla was overcharging for their vehicles anyways because they literally can't make enough of them to sell. They have a waiting list. So the minute Tesla cut prices, the minute China reopened, this was bound to happen. Yes, BYD will be a great second place for sure. But to prematurely announce BYD as the winner in China and Tesla's the loser at this point seems a little bit premature. That's all I'm going to say about it. Shout out to Dan Ives and Wedbush for raising the price to $225. Also, Dan Ives was really conservative. His $225 price target is actually based on 1.8 million vehicles in 2023 by Tesla. I think that is an extremely conservative number. I think Tesla will do at least 2 million vehicles. So that just goes to show you that the $225 price target is just based on a very conservative assumptions, which I think Tesla will actually break through. Now, I do want to mention that the Tesla stock price in general is extremely volatile because of the high retail participation, especially in the really very shaky macro environment. So Tesla stock price might go to 100 this year, might go to 300 this year. Nobody knows, including the knives, including myself. But here's the thing. The long-term investors, they don't care. But there's another group, a subgroup you can find on social media of people arguing against investing in Tesla. And their arguments are really phenomenally funny because what they're saying, when the stock price was extremely high, these people were telling you, hey, you should invest in Tesla. They're a great company, but the stock price is just darn too expensive. These same people are right now telling you, well, the stock price has fallen so much, there must be something wrong with Tesla. We probably could get it at $80 per share. Now, you might, I don't know, but all I'm going to say is that people who do not want to invest in Tesla will always find excuses why it's a bad idea. Now, we have to talk about Twitter because we have another bombshell from Elon Musk, this time about Twitter. Now, Elon Musk and Twitter is a kind of a love and hate, very odd relationship. Elon Musk just came out and said, hey, for the past 3 months, I've been busy trying to keep Twitter from going out of business, but now it seems to be trending towards an equilibrium, towards a break-even point. Now, he basically said for the past 3 months, he hasn't slept in between Tesla, Twitter, SpaceX. He has no sleep whatsoever. He's exhausted. In fact, he tweeted out saying, I'm concerned for myself when somebody asked him about it. Now, I do want to mention one thing. Twitter seems to be stabilizing, and I'm sure Elon will do a phenomenal job with it, as he did with every single venture he actually jumped into. But let me just tell you one thing. I can't think of anybody who can manage SpaceX on its own, of its complexities. The amount of engineering knowledge you have to have, the amount of financial knowledge, the amount of visionary aspects. I mean, Tesla, same. Who will be the new CEO of Tesla if Elon walks away tomorrow? I can't think of anybody. What about Neuralink projects? What about the Starlink stuff? I mean, every single one of Elon's projects will have a difficult time of finding a replacement CEO because of the complexities of running this business. Now think about it. He's doing all of them at once together. I've never seen, in fact, we as human beings have never seen a multitasker like Elon, and he doesn't get burned out. I've never seen anything like this, for better or for worse. When people complain about Elon Musk being peculiar and having weird tweets, I mean, take the good with the bad. I mean, we've never seen anybody like this. I feel like it's like watching Michael Jordan play at his prime. We're never going to see this again, folks, so enjoy the view. And I do want to mention that yesterday I posted 2 write-ups, one about Amazon, the other one about Facebook, basically showing you a little bit behind the scenes, under the hood. Not everything is as shiny as mainstream media is showing you. There's a lot of BS in the earnings of these 2 companies I want you to see. Now, these write-ups are posted on my Patreon, so if you're Patreons of mine, go right over there and check it out. If you're a channel member, it's in the channel member section. If you're not yet, you can join by, clicking the link below. It's like $5 per month. Now, the way I do it, I actually use my own software called Stock MVP. The link is also below. You can do it with every company in 2 minutes. Look under the hood and see everything. Because on Stock MVP, we can actually show you historical performance. So when you see earnings, you see what they did the year before, or EBITDA, or losses, or any sort of expenditures or debt. Everything is right there in the open. It's the easiest way to analyze companies on the fly quick. Now, enough with the sales pitch. Obviously, I know it's a little bit of a sales pitch. I know, but I want to promote it because I love it. I've created it. It's my baby. No, sue me. Now, I do want to mention the Chinese balloon. Apparently, there's another one. At this point, I don't know how many more are there. Now, look, China is spying after the U.S. The U.S. is spying after China. This isn't new. This happens all the time and will keep happening. The one thing I do want to mention is 2 things. Number one, the speed at which the U.S. government shut down this balloon. I wish they had that speed for bringing down inflation. Jokes aside, look, we spy after them, they spy after us. The whole difference is we spy after them using satellites that can read the time off of your hand. And they spy with balloons. So you kind of see the technical differences between China and the U.S. So for all the China fans, I mean, it's like horseback soldiers. I mean, it's a little bit outdated. Balloons, my guy. But hey, it is what it is. Before I let you guys go, condolences to the people of Turkey, Syria, and everybody in the Middle East. We just saw the earthquake news, 7.8 on Richter scale. Massive tragedy. Just goes to show you that life is precious. Every day isn't guaranteed. One day we're worried about inflation. The other day, such a huge tragedy. Millions of people are homeless. Absolutely tragic. Sending my positive energy to everybody out there. Hoping for the best. Well wishes. We'll see you guys in the next video.